Greetings, Tomb Raider fans. This week marks the final issue of the Tomb Raider Sacred Artifacts comic series, and I wanted to go with you my thoughts and opinions on the comic run, as well as go through the story of each issue so that you can be caught up with everything that happens in this series. This was actually a really good comic series, quite surprisingly, actually, because the last couple ones we had from Dark Horse, the Reboot Saga, as well as the Frozen Omen comic series, weren't very good. They weren't very good. So this is definitely the best comic series we've had since the Top Cow comics from the 90s and early 2000s. Especially in terms of drawing, these spreads are a lot better than anything we had in the Reboot series. So it's really refreshing that we had not only a great story, but we also had a nice comic to look at as well. This series was quite light on action, I have to say. There was lots of talking and dialogue. I know it is a comic book, so I'm expecting it to have a lot more dialogue than, gameplay moments, let's say. But nonetheless, the dialogue was actually really great, very comedic, and Lara's personality really is the star of the show for this series. So if you're fans of the original series, then I think you'll be really impressed by this. The art style is really cute. It's the best we've had for a long time for a Tomb Raider comic. I just really like how Lara is presented here. She looks very confident, very beautiful. Some of the smaller panels in this series lack detail, especially in the first issue, but thankfully the rest of the series doesn't have quite as much of this problem. It's not essential reading. I mean, there's no huge character deaths or revelations here. So don't worry, I'm going to cover everything very shortly so you're all caught up. But it mostly re-establishes Lara's character, especially in the context of a post-Tomb Raider Underworld story, as well as reintroducing all of Lara's favourite companions and some of the other story elements of past Tomb Raider games into the unified timeline. So it's pretty cool. Overall, I would really recommend this series if you have a chance to pick up a copy yourself or download the book on Amazon on your Kindle. I would highly recommend doing so. There is also a big volume coming later this year that will have all 4 issues in one book. So if you haven't had a chance to pick up a copy, then there'll be a book coming later this year for you to read it. Well, that's my overall thoughts on the series. We're now going to go issue by issue, talk about the story and the events of what's happening. There will be spoilers, of course, so if you want to read them yourself, please go ahead and do so and come back to this video. From now on, we will be covering the stories. There will be spoilers. Okay, so let's start off with issue number 1. One of the main themes of this comic is Lara accepting what her family ties have allowed her to do and what she wants from it now going forward. Does she want to be a philanthropist? Does she want to be an archaeologist? She even toys with the idea of making the Croft Manor Library open to the public, so she's considering retirement in a way, and she's currently got an interviewer at her house asking her all sorts of questions about this. Lara knows how to play to the camera. She is very confident and witty in this segment, and it's quite fun to see Lara in this light again. She's currently renovating the mansion still after the destruction that happened in Underworld, and it's been 1 year since those events. This interviewer notices an injury on Lara's face and asks how it is that she got the mark, whether it was from an ancient Egyptian god or something more mundane like renovating the mansion, as Lara kindly says. So it's funny that there's a reference to both Tomb Raider 4 and Temple of Osiris here. It's a nice nod, and it's nice to see that they're trying to establish these events in this unified timeline, so that's quite fun. Lara says she's had the time to reflect on her family legacy since the burning of Croft Manor. What has it all been for? And she's actually been quite depressed and maybe struggling to accept the events of Underworld and the revelation that her mother was always dead in Avalon. She doesn't want to adventure anymore. The manor represented her last attachment to her family, and it's not there anymore. These scenes are actually quite compelling. Lara really needed someone to be there for her, and Winston was there to help her out of her sadness. It's quite relatable that she would want to shut off and ignore her responsibilities, but eventually she found solace in her chosen family with Winston. We've all been in the situation where we needed someone to lift us up, and I think it was handled quite well here. I appreciate these moments of vulnerability. It feels a lot more natural than when she was crying all the time in the anime, for example. Lara is asked how the fire started in Croft Manor, and we see a tease of Doppelganger and Amanda. Possibly we'll see them in the future again. Amanda did appear in the World of Tanks collab, and she was also featured in that cancelled RPG game, so it's not totally ruled out that Amanda could return, and I would like to see that happen. Lara also acknowledges that she has accomplished so much in part due to her family wealth and estate, but she also still puts the work in and has grown so much beyond the manor and the Croft name. It's nice to see her talk about her family and her privilege, yet still make it about herself and her accomplishments. So, cut between the interview, we also see Lara scaling some mountains and entering a tomb. We know that she's searching for something called the Scythian Dagger, which is a twin dagger to the Dagger of Shan from Tomb Raider 2. Really cool to see a connection to Tomb Raider 2 in the unified timeline, especially since we have very little story to go off of for that game as it is. She's doing a retrieval job for a colleague, someone referred to as C on Lara's watch. We see Lara fighting against a character called the Postulant, who is an acrobatic, masked foe, seemingly connected to some kind of cult that wants the dagger for themselves. What bothers me here is Lara is not using her guns. I don't know why, this is quite annoying. The same thing happened in anime, she'd be in fights and she's just not using her pistols that are on her legs. Like, why are you bringing them if you're not using them? Eventually, she wins the fight, she brings the dagger back home. Lara realizes that the dagger was stolen mid-interview, and she decides that she's not retiring, and she chooses her adventure and she decides to set out to retrieve it. Our journey continues in issue number 2. We're still at Croft Manor. Winston is asking Lara's opinions on renovations for the mansion, which tile colour is looking the best. Lara has zero interest, and she decides to go outside and do some training in her assault course outside. Very reminiscent of the classic mansion assault course from the classic games, so that's a really cool nod. It's also worth noting we can see on the desk that Lara's house is called Hatfield House, just like the real building that was used not only in the movies but also inspiration for the games. Also, Lara is wearing cat slippers! I think that's really cute. So Lara's got a flight to catch this evening. She's preparing to meet her colleague in France and deciding what to wear. Love to see Lara back to having a fabulous wardrobe and being style conscious. It's a feminine trait I'm glad to see Lara have again after she wore all those horrible outfits in Shadow. Ew. It's here that Winston tries to remind Lara that she can't distract herself with adventures as a way of coping with her trauma, and Lara reminds him that she's okay and that this is exactly what she needs to do to get better. And thankfully these talks don't overstay their welcome. This is kind of the arc for Lara, that she's choosing her adventures and the colleagues that she's got as a way of coping with everything that's happened. Lara boards her private jet to France. I really love how she's written in some of these little moments. Her personality really shines through with the dialogue. She's really charming and always confident and always in control. Every line she says here, I can hear clearly in my head from any of the great voice actresses that we've had voice Lara over the years. It's also nice to see Lara dressed down too, in a cardigan. I would wear this outfit if I was on a flight. So it turns out that Lara's colleague is Carter Bell from Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. He was also featured in another comic series and also a novel, and it's great to see him make a return. He's a character I really enjoyed being introduced all those years ago, and I'm happy to see him again with his girlfriend, Anna. After seeing the same reboot characters for so long, it's very nice to see returning LAU characters and also classic timeline characters. They're having dinner and catching up. We meet Anna, who is also charming and a good match for Lara. She's very feminine, she's Italian, she's a dancer. She chose to give up her passion of dancing and ballet to study art history. There's also a fun little reference to the events of Temple of Osiris, with Lara inferring that she helped clean up all of his mess when he got to the artifact first in Temple of Osiris. So very tongue-in-cheek of Lara to say that, and I thought it was very funny. Carter is explaining a job that they have to retrieve an artifact from underneath a gala. That's why they're in France. It's really important to him that he completes this for a client, so he has a chance of getting back into the society. The Society of Raiders, more than likely. Still, we don't have a lot of information about what this group are, but clearly it's something that he was once a member of, and maybe Lara was as well at one point. Her guns seem to suggest that in Legacy of Atlantis because it bears the same insignia, so we'll just have to see. During this moment, he injures himself and can't take on the job, so Anna must join Lara instead on this event. Lara decides that they need couture gowns to attend this event. It's a nice nod to have Lara wearing haute couture like she did in some of those classic renders where she was wearing Alexander McQueen, for example, but it is a bit bizarre. I'm not sure why we do it. I'm not sure what this tangent is, it's a little bit strange. Anna suggests that the necklace clashes with Lara's outfit. It's a sentiment that fans have had for years, but nobody listened until now, so Lara decides not to wear the necklace on this mission. I would love a level like this in a game, like infiltrating a gala to reach the catacombs beneath the venue and then looking for an artifact and escaping. It's a really cool story element. I really love where the story goes here. Whilst they are infiltrating the catacombs beneath the gala, Anna talks to Lara about her father, who she says was murdered. And Lara says it's something that they have in common, and she instills in Anna the wisdom that Winston was offering her earlier in the story. They retrieve the artifacts they were looking for, wearing very cute athletic gear, by the way. I think they look great. And in the meantime, the postulant attacks Carter in the hotel room, and he steals Lara's necklace. Moving on to issue number 3. Anna is really upset about the attack on Carter, and Lara reminds her that this is just another day in the office for the two of them. Eventually, Lara comes to realize that maybe they are being too reckless. Her arc has changed from being so obsessive as she used to and being so dangerous, and now she's willing to accept things from another point of view. The artifact they retrieved in the last issue matches the postulant's mask, and the origin of this pinpoints a particular region of Sardinia in Italy, which is where the postulant asked Lara to meet him. Beautiful island, by the way, Sardinia. I've been. Glorious. Love it. There's also a little reference here to it being believed to be a remnant of Atlantis, which is a nice reference to not only the games, but also real life speculation about Atlantis. So I thought that was neat. So they fly to Sardinia, and Anna helps translate a text for them that they need that is written in Bulgarian. And it details the origins of the Scythian dagger and how it was a tool used to fight wars, turning the user into a mighty beast. I think a dragon is way cooler. I think the legend of this dagger could have been a bit better. Whatever. I once again want to mention how great Lara looks. She's drawn so beautifully. I love her energy. She's always smiling. She's got great poses, great outfits. Lara is so back. If this is indicative of the future of the franchise, I think we're in good hands. Once they arrive in Sardinia, Carter arrives, having been out that morning to get supplies, and they eventually drive to a remote part of the island to investigate where they expect the postulant to be. It's here that Anna asks Lara if she's tired of working alone, and Lara says yes. Lara will more than likely have a team of allies in the future and in the next game. I'm not sure how I feel about that, to be honest. I've always enjoyed when Lara's been very solitary and working by herself, but I kind of feel like it's this trend of games, no thanks to Naughty Dog, where you've got to have a companion with you at all times and spouting exposition with, so I guess that's something we'll have to get used to. Carter has a drone that he plans to drive down with them as they go spelunking, as well as some ear communicators, and Anna has prepared Lara with some guns. Why didn't Lara bring her own guns? Bit strange. Lara and Anna go deep into the cave looking for evidence of the postulant. They come across a red herring, and Lara has a little bit of a wobble about it. It kind of comes out of nowhere. Lara has this tearful moment, but Anna is there to reassure her. Lara notices her earpiece has gone missing, but they assume it fell off as they were climbing. Eventually, they fall through a floor and discover some kind of ancient ruins, and this is where we see the postulant and his cultists gathered for a ceremony. Concluding our adventure is issue number 4. It turns out Lara has been crossed. Anna reveals herself to be Gianna Bartoli, daughter of Marco Bartoli, working with the Fiamma Nera to deliver another ancient dagger to achieve great power. What a great twist! I did notice that Gianna had removed Lara's earpiece in the issue previous, so I was expecting her to be a villain, and since she's Italian and her dad was murdered, it makes sense. It's still a great twist, and I love the development for the Tomb Raider 2 lore, especially because it wasn't very substantial to begin with, like I mentioned. I love the dialogue between Lara and Gianna here, very confrontational, and you can see both sides of how Gianna would want revenge and why Lara was justified in stopping a cultist from unleashing the dragon's power onto the world. So the Fiamma Nera planned to avenge Bartoli by sacrificing Lara. The postulant stabs himself with the dagger, not in the heart though, which is strange, as that was a big point in Tomb Raider 2 with the Dagger of Shan, that you had to stab yourself in the heart. But he stabs himself in the neck, and Lara manages to fight the beast off as well as the cultist. She ducks into a cave where Carter is miraculously recovered and no longer injured. They defeat the beast and Gianna. Turns out Lara was onto her the whole time. She says she did a full background check on anyone that her friends meets. She realised the red herrings that Gianna was trying to tell her when she was translating that Bulgarian text, as Lara could translate the text herself. It's not stated, but I believe that Carter probably faked his injury in order to keep Gianna aloof the whole time, and also he prepared the cave with explosives the morning before. It's great to see Lara get the upper hand here. I thought it was very well done, and I really liked this story development. I hope Gianna returns as a rival in the future. She has a lot of potential, and I love her feminine character design, as well as how her story mirrors Lara's. They're kind of two sides of the same coin, but Lara is just much further developed in her journey of acceptance than she is. So all is well. Lara returns home and invites her friends for some lunch. She receives a package from Gianna.
Package?
With the necklace returned to her. Carter also delivers a letter for Lara, inviting her and Carter to the Society of Raiders. I suppose we'll hear more about this in the next game. Most importantly, Anaya is back, okay? Fabulous character. Oh my god, I love her so much. So glad she's on the team, and I really hope she's in a future game. I want her more than most other allies to return, so I'm so glad, so happy. I'm so glad she's back. Finally, we see one remaining guest at the table. We see everybody else sitting around. We see Zip, Carter, Lara, and Anaya, but there's one fifth guest that remains shrouded in a silhouette. Who is this mysterious fifth member? Could it be Curtis? The silhouette kind of checks out. We can see kind of like a fringe hairstyle that might look like his. So maybe it's Curtis is back again. I posted a tweet when I noticed that this was the case, and a lot of people were not very happy at the idea of Curtis returning. It would be interesting to see how they would explain the events of Angel of Darkness if he was to return. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens with that. So that is all. Thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed this story, this comic series, and I thought it was a great arc for Lara, choosing her path and loving adventuring again. Really loved the art direction. It's the best comic series we've had in a long time, so I hope we see another arc just like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe for more Tomb Raider content. I've got more videos planned coming soon. And you can follow me on Twitter for updates and opinions, and I also have a Discord server with like-minded Tomb Raider fans. If you want to talk about Tomb Raider with us, we're more than happy to have you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.